Alright, so lately I've been looking at a lot of pretty much Winchester 1887 videos, like the one pretty much you're looking at right now. People have a lot of issues, and people talk about like all the, well, the problems and issues that the gun has itself. And I've watched a few videos, and there's only a few of them, well, only a few people that have real 1887s, and only a few videos that do good videos on the reproductions. So this isn't going to be about only the original. It's going to be about the reproductions also, but I really won't get into detail of those because I don't have one, but I've pretty much watched every single video out there. So I'll go over like all like the myths there that people talk about. And I made myself a list because I've watched a lot of videos and people pretty much all have the same opinion. So, number one here, I'll go down a list as fast as possible. So I'll try to clear some things up here. So if you're looking in the market to buy one, even if it's an original reproduction, doesn't matter. I'll try to clear things up. So number one there, the 87 actions. So people say that, oh, they don't compare it to pump actions. I mean, there's a reason now why pump actions are a lot more popular. You know, it's evolution. I mean, these things didn't stick around because there was issues, and the ease of use of a pump action, or now these days semi-autos, is so much better. So you can see here I put the gun here on my rack. So the action of it, and I wrote all my notes down here. You can see that the lever, and I'll switch the camera around so you guys can see better at some points. The lever, when it drops down, I mean, it's a ridiculous motion. For example, like on other lever action rifles, the motion is more comparable to an up and down. I mean, you could do it super like 45-70s, big calibers. It's pretty much with one hand, just click click, and then you bring it back. You're good. So that's more of an up and down motion. This one is more of a crescent shape. I mean, you literally need to bring it down all the way down and all the way up, which pretty much makes it impossible unless you're a 7-foot tall monster with like 5-foot arms to shoot it from the shoulder. And people try to, but you see that the action just, it jams. You need to fire this pretty much from the shoulder, but to rack it, or work the lever, I should say, from the hip. Because it's just the motion. I mean, I'm like 6'1", 6'2". I have pretty long arms. It's impossible. Just the whole motion from like ear to ear. I mean, let's say the lever comes up to here. I don't know if it, like what is this here? Like 8 inches probably. Like of motion that you have to just let go of the grip and the gun, and you have to just. Anyways, it's a crazy motion you have to do. So they're not comparable to pump actions. People say, oh, pump actions are better and stuff. I mean, that's why that pump actions stuck around and then this didn't. So then, the action, obviously, people... I talked about how it works there, and with the pump action stuff, how comparable it is, but people don't know how to work it. A pump action, you can work it pretty much however you want. You could shoot, pump it, let go, pick your nose, but do whatever you have to do, rack it back, and bring it forward, and you're good to go. This, if you see, I posted a video, it's about like 20 seconds long, really short, of me shooting this, and you see that at one point it jams because I shoot, I rack down the lever, I think I'm at the bottom, and I bring it back. So pretty much the shell that was extracting got caught in the chamber, like a half-ass caught, so it didn't want to come out. It pretty much jammed in the extractors. So that was one of the issues I had when you work these. If I take all these shells out of the way that I'm going to talk about here soon. If the action's like this, try to work this here around the camera. You can't like work it like that. Like all the way here, this isn't even the full action. That's the full action. You have to make the elevator there, the carrier, go all the way up, and then from there the bolt will pick up the round and put it in, you know, like every other gun out there. But you have to work it. If you work it like this, not going to work. If you guys looked at other videos, I mean, there's a few of them that people know what they're talking about, but the rest of the people, it's pretty much just they bought them this style of 1887 because they want it on their wall, or they'll shoot it a few times with like their family because of Terminator. They saw it in movies and such. But I'm trying to stay more into like the mechanical aspect of things here, more of the facts. So like this, there's no way the gun's not even going to feed like this. So I mean, pump action could do it slow, it's going to work every time. This thing, you need to. I'll do it. I fired. Like, you need to like beat the crap out of it. Like, you need to really rack it. Now my second point, I'll bring these shells back over here. If I can, I'll put them back here. These actions were designed to work with brass shells. People use, and I understand in the replicas you could use 2 3/4 shells. You know, these little things here, that's great, but they jam. The actions of these and the parts are the exact same as the reproductions. This is original, the reproductions are the exact same. I've seen a bunch of disassembly videos, they're the exact same. So these brass shells, the inside of this thing isn't crazy polished, and the new ones, people say, oh, you have to slick them up and stuff, but they still jam. The motion of the action wasn't designed to extract 2 3/4. They were for 2.5 brass shells, or at the same time, this is a 16 gauge, but this is a little, I mean, it's focusing, but it's a little paper shell. Anyways, paper, because they're extremely smooth and they glide very well. This is an original brass shell. This Ellie made this one, and this is a slug, an original 2.5 slug brass shell. These days, people sell these. These are, I think Magtech sells these for a box of 25. I think it's around $40. Full brass shells. See here, I'll attempt to focus. There we go. This is mine. I loaded this up yesterday. I did 20 shells. You know how they used to be, large pistol primer. I put this one, just happens to have number 4 buckshot in it. But yeah, so these things, they work fine if you know how to work the action. So even if you have a random random shell like this and you know how to work the action, not going to work. You need to have the full combination here. Good shells, and you know how to work the action. You got to absolutely run it like a savage. Just really, like, just freaking pounding it. Okay, now people also talk about the exposed hammer. Well, the hammer is another thing. On lever guns, the hammer has like an inch sprue sticking out. On here, I'll move the camera around. Alright, so here you can see the hammer. It's just a little nub. I mean, this isn't even a 1/4 inch, it's like an 1/8 inch sticking up. And I mean, I've seen people in comments that I've been hunting with this thing for like 40 plus years. I'm 60 years old. I've never had issues. I have gloves on and stuff. You can't tell me that this thing just won't slip. You're hunting, and you're like turkey hunting, let's say, and you have mud on your hands or whatever. You're trying to get up a tree stand, whatever you're doing. You got sap and stuff on your hands. There's no way in hell. Just this little nub. I mean, you really have to crank it down. And this thing's crazy. Just like the little hammer spur or thing that sticks out. It's so small. It is checkered, but I mean, you're not even touching this checkering. It's just barely touching. And I mean, it's ridiculous. This thing, it slides out of your hands all the time. You have to be super careful with them. It's like a lever action. You crank it. Okay, no, I don't want to shoot anymore. Slowly take it back. This thing, you have to take your sweet time. Anyways, a lot of people have issues with this. Like, why would you? Even the reproductions, the hammers are so small. They're inconvenient. They're not that inconvenient. I don't know why they did this. I guess it's the slide in the receiver. They couldn't have a big spur sticking out, so they did it like this. But I mean, that's how they were. So that's pretty much how the repros still are. Okay, so I pretty much, covered the basics of the action. And then the ammo. You need to have, for this thing to work well, you need to run this like you're pissed off, and then if you look at videos, you'll see people, they'll shoot it, it'll jam all the time, they'll say it's crap, they spent like $300 for nothing, that doesn't work, they'll get pissed off and shoot like 5 rounds flawlessly, because they're mad, and now they're like wailing on the lever, and it works. So you need to learn how to work the action, learn how to load up your own brass shells or paper shells. I know Federal has some, but I'm not sure where to buy them. So now, other huge issue is loading these things. Really, just not a simple feat. There's a reason why people now they're making guns or shotguns and rifles that load from underneath or from the side. There's a reason. Evolution, like I said. So you open a lever. Now you're attempting to load some shells. You're all empty. Now you have your shells in hand. Next motion is you have to load them. Okay, so shells in hand. Now pretty much this is how you'd load the gun. You'd hold it horizontal to you. Now the lever's fully out. You're done shooting. You rack the lever completely. You push the elevator down. I'm doing this across the camera. Now I'll do this on purpose, but how to load this, you start like this and then you push in. People, they'll try to do like, pump action shotguns, as people do, you flip it over fully like horizontal, full 180 of the gun, and you drop the shells in and then you push it in. So then you go to do this with this gun, you put the shells in, you drop it in, and then damn, the shell, well, now how am I supposed to do this? Now the shell's stuck. Oh my god. Now all the doves and the turkeys and stuff are flying down in front of you. Now you have to find a way. You gotta wedge your finger in here. Oh, now you pushed it in. And I need some oil in my bag too. The shells got stuck too in mine. But it's my fault. I just have to oil it up. Now you have one shell in. You finally got it in. Now you want to put another one in. Get it in diagonal. Find the angle. Bang, you push it in. I could see how like plastic shells and stuff, I've reloaded plastic shells, slugs, whatever you want, and they get stuck because the plastic, is brittle, and the metal edges and stuff, like I'll cut them. It's a pretty tight fit in there. So now, got your shells in there. I'll go get more. Okay, so now, let's say tube's full. I think there's about 5 that fit in the tube, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. Jesus Christ! Just pulled out a shell out of the brand new box, never fired before or anything, and it's all messed up. Anyways, now let's say there's 5 in the tube. Your elevator's down, so you'll go put one in the chamber. And then if I could figure out how to do this, and then you drop one in the elevator. 5 plus 1 plus 1, so 5 plus 2. Now you have 7 shots. Now, close the action. Now the spring's all cocked back and everything. Now I'll try to work this slow, kind of to make it jam. Also, I don't really have a choice because I'm around the camera. But you see here, it's supposed to drop the shell now anytime. See, oh, there you go. Now the extractors drop the shell. Because I worked it slow, and then you're in the woods like this, you're like, wow, this thing's trash, and then you take it out and then you throw this on the ground. Then you have your other shell on here. Then you're like, well, my lever's fully depressed. I'm working this, and then you put another one in, and bang, oh, this thing's crap, it never loads. Oh, look, my lever's fully down. Come back up. No, it's not down. Push it even more. Now, working this thing slow. You see, oh, now, oh. This one has jagged edges though, so it doesn't count. I'll have to buff it out. Never even used it before. Now it's in, then you run it slow, bang, you shot your whatever. Oh no, it got stuck again. And that's what I mean, like pump actions and stuff, it's pretty complicated. See now in my other one there having issues. You see, now it's feeding in here. I'm trying to be as slow as possible here. Fed in again. The lever right now is perfectly like 90 degrees. It's down. You have to push it even more. Rack it in there. See how smooth that was? Now I did it moderately fast. Now I'll take it out again. I'll try to do it fast. There, you see that? You really got to wail on it. And I mean, ejection, everything works great on here. Originals, reproductions, whatever, they're all the same. The actions haven't changed. It's been like 200 something years, or like 150 something like that. They're still the same. No parts have changed. People want them because they're cool memorabilia, because you like Terminator, you like whichever Western movies. People are big fans, so people just buy them. So yeah, work the action, learn how to work the action, learn what ammo goes in it, learn how to reload, because that's a big deal. Don't just drop the shells in. So yeah, action, did I cover everything here? Look on my list. Action, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I wrote love or hate because people either love this thing, it's super cool, or it's trash, doesn't work. But I mean, it's because they don't know how to work it. They use semi-autos, or I mean, this isn't something you'll give to somebody at a family gathering, you know, to have a good time. It's just not going to happen. People aren't going to know how to run it. It's normal. It's so just a more complicated firearm. I mean, a kid's not going to be able to run this unless he's like crazy, I mean, used to guns, and you really in depth explain him how to do it. But yeah, this was more. I just tried to do a in-depth analysis, kind of myth busting. I don't know what I'll call this video, but people just don't know how to run these. They don't know how to reload for them, and I mean, you can't start off buying these things. I mean, people are like, oh, they're like $200 or $300. I don't know, however much they are in the States for a reproduction. They're like, oh, it's gonna work, or then they're shooting and the screws start falling out. I mean, yeah, you paid like $300 for it, so yeah, not too. I mean, I really can't complain about mine. I'll do some polishing in the mag tube there if possible. But yeah, these were hunting guns. They were used, I mean, pretty much, you know, federal agencies and stuff had them all around the world. And, you know, in the U.S. pretty much, but I think they shipped some out to Europe, I think. I don't know. Anyways, I was reading some articles. You know, so it's the first ever successful repeating shotgun. They made 65,000 of them, you know, so obviously they didn't catch on super well, but they worked, and they still do work. So if it worked back then, it works today. So you just learn how to work your firearm, and you'll be fine.